Welcome back to The Deep Dive. Okay, you know that feeling, right? Award season, the nominations land, and just boom, the internet goes wild. Well, today we are absolutely diving headfirst into the 2025 Emmy nominations. And honestly, the sources you've shared, they paint a really surprising picture this year. So our mission really is to cut through all that noise. We want to pull out those key insights for you, give you the shortcut to understanding what really popped and maybe what was, well, shockingly missing. We're aiming to help you distill all that great research you did, make sense of some pretty unexpected turns. Okay, so looking across all your material, what's the big story? The main theme we kept seeing, it's pretty clear, isn't it? The 2025 Emmys, I mean, they really leaned into fresh faces, performances maybe flying under the radar a bit. It definitely feels like they went for the unexpected quite a lot. Meanwhile, some huge shows, big established names, they kind of got left out in the cold, big-time shutouts. Let's maybe start there. Unpack those emissions first, the ones that really make people go, wait, there it is?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's striking looking at your sources how quickly things can change, right? With these awards. When we talk about the snubs, it's not just who missed out, but the sheer scale of some of these projects and names. Like right off the bat, Squid Game season 2, completely shut out.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, this was a show that won big before. Your material highlights 0 nominations this time around.
0, after all that previous acclaim.
0. And it really makes you wonder, maybe the Academy is sort of actively moving away from rewarding, like, existing global hits. Or maybe it's recency bias working differently, perhaps focusing more on, like, the immediate artistic impact of this year's work.
That's a really interesting angle, moving away from rewarding past success like that. What else might your sources hint at for why Squid Game saw such a, well, dramatic turnaround?
Well, your sources sort of point towards maybe a mix of things. Could be voter fatigue, with shows that have been big for a while. Or maybe it's a very conscious push to spotlight newer stuff, emerging voices. And look, it wasn't just Squid Game. Alfonso Cuarón's Disclaimer, another one that got the cold shoulder.
Right.
No directing nod for him, nothing for the series, and surprisingly, nothing for Kevin Kline either, the lead actor.
That's huge. Cuarón and Kline.
Exactly. So it begs a question, Route, if our voters may be looking for different types of stories now. Or maybe performances that resonate differently rather than just, the prestige attached to big names. Your research definitely suggests a lean towards rewarding, let's say, impactful work over maybe just reputation alone.
Makes you really think about the criteria. And the list goes on. Your notes also flag The Handmaid's Tale.
Oh, yeah.
Its final season. And nothing for the show. Nothing for Elizabeth Moss.
Not.
I mean, that show has been an Emmy magnet for years. For its final season to be completely overlooked. That's really something. What are your sources saying about that? Like an end of an era silence?
Yeah.
Is it fatigue again, or is there something else at play there?
Well, that's one of those snubs that it kind of forces a reassessment of how these things work, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Your sources seem to paint it as part of maybe a deliberate shift. Fatigue, yes, that's probably part of it.
Right.
But also potentially a desire to sort of, close the book on these long-running sagas that have had their spotlight and make room for what's next.
Making space for news stories.
Exactly. And then John Mulaney. Again,
Mulaney.
your
Yeah.
material notes, his show, Everybody's Live with John Mulaney, didn't crack that variety talk category, which is always super competitive.
So competitive.
And it's just another time he's been, well, overlooked, despite, his unique comedic voice. It's curious.
It really does feel like a conscious reevaluation, maybe pushing past just the established players or past glory. But, okay, it wasn't all about who didn't get a nod. Let's flip this. Where did things get really interesting and unexpected? The breakthroughs, the nominations that kind of caught people off guard, showing that Emmy pivot towards maybe less obvious choices, like Uzo Aduba. Your sources highlight her getting a lead actress nomination for The Residents on Netflix.
Yeah, which was pretty short-lived, right?
Exactly. And she apparently beat out some really big names. Your notes mentioned Natasha Lyonne, Selena Gomez. That feels like a genuine upset. Just on what your sources are saying.
Oh, it's definitely more than just an upset. I think it signals the Academy really zoning in on the performance itself. Kind of separate from how popular the show was overall, or even how long it lasted.
Right, the performance in isolation.
Yeah, connecting that to the bigger picture, it suggests they're willing to reward quality work even if the show itself didn't make huge waves. It's about the craft. Your material really underscores that, a focus on the acting.
Okay, focus on craft. And another one that your notes flagged, getting a lot of buzz. Common Side Effects. The animated series.
From Adult Swim, yeah. That was a surprise.
Totally unexpected nomination, apparently pushing out heavy hitters like Invincible, Big Mouth.
Yeah, established players in that field.
In animation, which often feels like it's dominated by the same few shows year after year, this really, as you said, jumped out as a bold choice. What message do you think that sends?
I think a key takeaway there from your sources is how a surprise like this can genuinely open things up for maybe more niche or unconventional animated projects. It kind of broadens the definition of what's considered Emmy-worthy animation. Suggests voters are looking past just massive popularity, maybe towards unique art styles or different kinds of storytelling.
Interesting. Expanding the field.
Definitely. And one more surprise nod your material highlighted, Jeff Hiller.
Oh, for somebody somewhere.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Supporting actor nomination for him. And the show itself got a writing nod, too, which is great.
That's fantastic for that show.
It is. But Hiller's individual recognition, it really speaks to that theme again, right? Talent that's maybe been flying under the radar, finally getting that moment. It suggests, I think, a genuine effort by the Academy voters to find and reward that individual brilliance, even in shows that aren't necessarily the loudest or biggest ones out there.
Okay, so we've seen these patterns in your research. The big names getting snubbed, the unexpected contenders breaking through. So the crucial question then, based on everything you've gathered for us, what does this actually tell us about where TV awards are heading? What are the Emmys signaling they value now? What's your take synthesizing all this?
Yeah, I think boiling it down, the core insight from digging into your material is pretty clear. The 2025 Emmys really did mark a noticeable shift. There was this undeniable spotlight on, new talent, less mainstream stuff, often chosen over very established shows, very famous names, even critically loved long runners.
Right. So why does that shift actually matter, though? What does it suggest about the industry or viewing trends based on your sources?
Well, why it matters and what your sources seem to imply is actually quite compelling. This pattern, it could signal a few things going on in the industry. It might reflect, say, a growing sense that really fresh, innovative work is coming from a much wider range of places now, not just the usual high-budget suspects or legacy shows.
So quality from unexpected corners.
Precisely. Or maybe it's even the definition of excellence itself evolving among the voters. Maybe they're looking beyond just past wins or, massive buzz. And for you, the listener, recognizing this shift is important. It means there's this broader spectrum of really high quality TV getting official recognition now. It might even, nudge you to seek out some of these surprise nominees, these gems that broke through. Maybe look beyond the shows everyone always talks about.
That makes sense. It could change what you decide to watch next.
Exactly. It broadens your own potential viewing list.
Okay, so final thought then. Building on this trend we've seen in 2025, this favoring of fresh faces, these under-the-radar shows getting nods, what does this signal for the future of TV awards? Is this like the start of a whole new era, one where maybe quality truly gets recognized no matter the fame or the budget? Or is it just, a temporary blip, a moment of boldness? And maybe for you listening, what unexpected gems might you find if you start looking beyond the usual big names in the year ahead, keeping these insights in mind?